So if you're looking to sell any kind of insurance product part-time, then this resource guide is absolutely for you. What I'm going to be doing in this video is going to give you the step-by-step procedure of how to start selling insurance on a part-time basis. So this video is going to be perfect for you if you're looking at possibly selling insurance and you want to know what steps it takes to get started, or you know you're going to sell insurance, but you want kind of a blueprint or kind of an onboarding process of how to start from point A to the point where you're ready to go sell and everything that falls in between. So if that's what you're looking for, stick around. My name is David Duford, owner of Duford Insurance Group. I train and recruit agents nationally in my virtual agency to sell things like final expense, Medicare, and annuities, both face-to-face and over the phone. If you'd like to learn more about that, how my agency works, there's links above or below. Just click it and check it out. Thanks for watching. Okay, so let's jump right in and talk about the process, step-by-step, to selling part-time insurance successfully. So first of all, is research the different insurance niches. Notice that I'm not saying, start by picking an agency. Okay, that's the worst thing you can do. The worst thing you can do is your friend or family member or Craigslist ad that told you that you can make 6 figures with your hands tied behind your back without knowing anything. Like, that's the worst thing, is to jump into that proposition without thoroughly doing your due diligence and your research, okay? So first thing you need to do is figure out what kind of products are out there and what kind of markets are out there. You see, when you sell insurance, you need to pick one product. I don't recommend, at least for my agents that join my agency, to sell multiple products from the get-go, maybe down the line. But as a new agent, you need to pick one strategy, one market, one product, and go all in that particular strategy. Why? Because focus is critical to anything in life. And the act of selling insurance is a complicated skill set that involves your ability to have conversations, think on your feet, understand products, etc. And so it's going to be overwhelming, and forcing yourself to get good and focus on one thing is just going to minimize the overwhelm as much as it can and give you, I think, the best chances of success. So what kind of niches are out there? There's all sorts of them, and there's pros and cons. Is it a multi-step sales cycle? Is it a one-step sales cycle? Is it residual based? Is it first-year commission based? Do you sell over the phone? Do you sell face-to-face? There's different kinds of strategies out there, and the best thing I can tell you to do is keep watching my channel if you want more insight on the different strategies out there. And there's also a book behind me somewhere over here. It's that green book over there. It's called the Official Guide to Selling Insurance for New Agents. I talk at length about the different opportunities out there. So if you're kind of just confused, you like the idea of selling insurance, but you kind of want to get some help with the way around the options, check that book out there. It's a quick read and kind of gives you some guidance. Second of all, read some insurance books. So maybe I kind of jumped the gun there in my first explanation, but I think it's a good investment of your time to understand, again, in doing your due diligence, what the options are out there. And I think it's a smart idea to just plug into Amazon, put in insurance sales books, and kind of see what options pop up. Buy some books. At worst, go online, research on forums, look on insurance journals, etc., magazines online, just to learn more about the business, especially in the niches that you think sound good to you, just to get more of an informed idea of how the business works. And I think kind of in part with book reading, you should also spend some time on insurance forums, Facebook groups, anywhere where agents acclimate, and get some feedback on, hey, I'm a new agent, what should I be concerned with? And you'll get a lot of people who will give you their opinion to at least kind of develop an insight to the business that you may not readily get by the person that brought you into this, who's telling you that their stuff is the best thing since sliced bread. Number 3 on the list here is research and interview with multiple insurance agencies. So this is a really important thing. Again, I keep referencing this because it's so common. Most agents come into this business because of somebody they know in the business referred them into it, and they just jump in with the first agency that that person is associated with. And so commonly, what you may not realize as a new agent is most agents fail. They picked the wrong agency or didn't have enough money to fund their business, and they weren't told this stuff up front. So it's really important to do your due diligence, right, before you jump in and be fully committed. So I think it's worth your time to go look at multiple agencies to determine which one's going to be the best fit for you. Because every agency has a different culture, every agency looks at the business slightly differently, and your goal, because you're about to enter a performance-based business where 100% of your commission earnings are going to be commission-based, you need to make sure you have goal alignment with the agency that best fits what you're looking to do. Anytime there's goal misalignment, for example, the agency you want to join talks about recruiting everybody with a pulse. You're only interested in selling. Well, how successful are you going to be in an organization like that? I would argue not so much. So what my recommendation would be instead is to do your due diligence and interview with multiple ones. Here's another thing that you may not be aware of. Most agencies will take anybody with a pulse, okay? So that's why I say you are doing the interviewing, not the other way around. Ask them questions about how do commission levels work? Why do people do business with you versus other ones? Why should I join your organization versus another? And it's not so much what their answer is, even though that is important, it's how they react to that answer that also matters. If they get personally offended because you're trying to find your way in this business and find a good match and you're just a little cautious before you just jump into bed with anybody at first blush, well, you know, that they have a problem with that. There's something wrong with them, not you, okay? And why would you want to work with an organization that gets that easily offended in a business like this? So these are the things you want to do to flesh out the weak hands, the bad choices, and then hopefully come down to one or two agencies that really do a good job that you feel based on their presentation does a great job in their business, but also has a good match with you personally. Number 4 on the list here, after you pick that agency you want to join with, that's when I would go bother to get my license. I wouldn't bother to get my license before I had an idea of which direction I go. So for me, I recommend just putting off the licensing till later. Number 5 on the list here is when you get started with an agency that's going to allow you to do part-time effort, make sure that you understand from kind of a high-level view that this is a part-time business. It's not a job, it's a business, and but it's a full-time effort, okay? The worst thing you can do is, you know, basically just, you know, do a little bit here, do a little bit there, and not be fully committed, even though you're on a part-time basis. So when I started the business, I started part-time. I had a personal training gym and a few days that I could go out and do this business. But every single day I made open to go do in this case, final expense part-time. That was what I was doing. It wasn't optional. It wasn't like laying out at home on those days. I was going to see the people. I was going to go sell insurance. It was just as important to my business, my business at a whole, as much as my personal training business. And I never missed a beat unless I was sick or something happened. So keep that full-time mentality in mind, even though you're starting on a part-time basis. And last but not least, point number 6 here is have a strategy to go full-time within the next 6 to 12 months. Hopefully you'll recognize very quickly that the insurance business provides a great opportunity, a wonderful opportunity to make a lot of money. And find a way, especially when you start experiencing this, so this will naturally happen to you, how can I get more of something that's good? Well, start to devise a strategy to get out of your full-time gig or your other job and to take final expense from or any insurance business from a part-time to a full-time position. And that, for me, it took me 6 months the first time around. I ended up failing out after my first year, got back into final expense insurance sales part-time for a full year. I took it a little bit slower, saved up a little bit more money, and then never looked back after I went full-time right after my wife had twins. No paternity leave there, ladies and gentlemen. But anyways, you get the idea. You want to have an exit strategy, okay? Because really the fun in this business comes from a full-time commitment to it. And it's absolutely something you should do and not just keep as a side gig, in my opinion at least. So there's the strategy to getting started and then executing a part-time strategy. There's nothing really different from a part-time strategy versus full-time as far as the leads, the carriers, the activity itself. It's just not as much, that's it. But you gotta get started on the right foot. And that's why I spent more time talking about what you do before you start selling to be successful, because that's where most of the problems lie, where agents fail out of the business prematurely because they make the wrong pick. They were promised something and it never was delivered. So it's really important to get that stuff on a part-time basis figured out first. If you like this video, please subscribe and like the video. Leave a comment below if you have a question. If you want to learn about how joining my agency works, there's links above or below. Click them to go learn more. And as always, thank you for taking time to watch this video. I appreciate your viewership so much you wouldn't believe it. And we'll see you next time. Y'all take care. Bye.